Hello, Squirrel Squad. Sorry it's so late. I'm at my daughter's and light's being weird. Sitting on her comfy couch with my feet up on her comfy ottoman and the kitty cat's down here playing with my feet. And crocheting a little bit. And getting ready to work on this pretty color that Julie Chafee Maza gave me. I think we're on chapter 5. These chapters are labeled differently because it says it was part 2 of the first book, so I probably did read this before, like I keep saying, but we're going to read it again. This is called Domestic Experiences. Like most other matrons, Meg began her married life with the determination to be a model housekeeper. John should find a home of paradise. He should always see a smiling face, should fare sumptuously every day, and never know the loss of a button. She brought so much work, love, energy, and cheerfulness to the work that she could not but succeed, in spite of some obstacles. Her paradise was not a tranquil one, for the little woman fussed, was over anxious. It's not a tranquil one, for the little woman fussed, was over anxious to please, and bustled about like a true Martha, cumbered with many cares. She was too tired, sometimes even to smile. John grew dyspeptic after a course of dainty dishes and ungratefully demanded plain fare. As for buttons, she soon learned to wonder where they went, to shake her head over the carelessness of men, and to threaten to make him sew them on himself and see if his work would stand impatient and clumsy fingers any better than hers. They were very happy, even after they discovered that they couldn't live on love alone. John did not find Meg's beauty diminished, though she beamed at him from behind the familiar coffee pot, nor did Meg miss any of the romance from the daily parting, when her husband followed up his kiss with the tender inquiry, "Shall I send some veal or mutton for dinner, darling?" The little house ceased to be a glorified bower, but it became a home, and the young couple soon felt that it was a change for the better. At first they played keep house and frolicked over it like children. Then John took steadily to business, feeling the cares of the head of the family upon his shoulders, and Meg laid by her cambric wrappers, put on a big apron, it's the TV, and fell to work as before said, with more energy than discretion. So I should turn off the TV with all the flash. It's a huge TV, a smart TV. They got a smart house. Granny lives in a dumb house. While the cooking mania lasted, she went through Mrs. Cornelius' receipt book as if it were a mathematical exercise. It's not recipe, receipt. That's what Mama used to call recipes, receipts. Working out the problems with patience and care. Sometimes her family were invited in to help eat up a too bounteous feast of successes, or Lottie would be privately dispatched with a batch. I'm sorry, I'm not reading with the dang. With a batch of failures which were to be concealed from all eyes in the convenient stomachs of the little Hummels. An evening with John over the account books usually produced a temporary lull in the culinary enthusiasm, and a frugal fit would ensue, during which the poor man was put through a course of bread pudding, hash, and warmed over coffee, which tried his soul, although he bore it with praiseworthy fortitude. Before the golden mean was found, however, Meg added to her domestic possessions what young couples seldom get on long without: a family jar. Fired with housewifely wish to see her storeroom stocked with homemade preserves, she undertook to put up her own currant jelly. John was requested to order home a dozen or so of little pots, and an extra quantity of sugar, for their own currants were ripe and were to be attended to at once. As John firmly believed that my wife was equal to anything and took a natural pride in her skill, he resolved she should be gratified in their only crop of fruit laid by in a most pleasing form for winter use. Home came 4 dozen delightful little pots, half a barrel of sugar, and a small boy to pick the currants for her. With her pretty hair tucked into a little cap, arms bared to the elbow, and a checked apron which had a coquettish look in spite of the bib, the young housewife fell to work, feeling no doubts about her success. For hadn't she seen Hannah do it? Amazed her at first. Hannah do it hundreds of times. The array of pots rather amazed her at first, but John was so fond of them. So fond of jelly, and the nice little jars would look so well on the top shelf, that Meg resolved to fill them all, and spent a long day pickling, boiling, straining, and fussing over her jelly. She did her best. She asked advice of Mrs. Cornelius. She racked her brain to remember what Hannah did that she left undone. She reboiled, resugared, and restrained, but that dreadful stuff wouldn't gel. She longed to run home, bib and all, and ask Mother to lend her a hand. I do remember reading this. But John and she had agreed they would never annoy anyone with their private worries, experiments, or quarrels. They had laughed over that last word as if the idea it suggested was a most preposterous one, but they held to their resolve, and whenever they could get on without help, they did so, and no one interfered. For Mrs. March had advised the plan, so Meg wrestled along with her refractory sweetness all that hot summer day, and at 5 o'clock sat down in the topsy-turvy kitchen, wrung her bedaubed hands, lifted her voice, and wept. Now, in the first flush of the new life, she had often said, "My husband shall always feel free to bring a friend home whenever he likes. I shall always be prepared." Be prepared. But there shall be no flurry, no scolding, no discomfort, but a neat house, cheerful wife, good dinner, and a good dinner. John dear, never stop to ask my leave. Invite whom you please, and be sure of a welcome from me. How charming that was, to be sure. John quite glowed with pride to hear her say it. A superior wife, but although they had had company from time to time, it never happened to be unexpected, and Meg had never had an opportunity to distinguish herself till now. It always happened so in this vale of tears. Sorry. Allergies. There is an inevitability about such things which we can only wonder at. deplore and bear as best we can. If John had not forgotten all about the jelly, it really would have been unpardonable in him to choose that day of all days of the year to bring a friend home to dinner unexpectedly, congratulating himself that a handsome repast had been ordered that morning, feeling sure that it would be ready to the minute, and indulging in pleasant anticipations of the charming effect it would produce. When his pretty wife came running out to meet him, he escorted his wife and his friend, whom the irrepressible satisfaction of a young host and husband. It is a world of disappointments, as John discovered when he reached the Dovecote. The front door usually stood hospitably open. Now it was not only shut, but locked, and yesterday's mud still adorned the steps. The parlor windows were closed and curtained. No picture of the pretty wife sewing on the piazza in white with a distracting little bow in her hair, or bright-eyed hostess smiling I lost my place. I think I'm going to have to stop, y'all. I've been kind of nauseous. I think it's coming from drainage, so I took something for nausea, and this Finnegan only took about a quarter of it. Still making me so sleepy. This isn't making sense to me, so I'm sure it's not to y'all. But let me finish this page. We're almost done. Let me go back. The parlor windows were closed and curtained. No picture of the pretty wife sewing on the piazza in white with a distracting little bow in her hair, or a bright-eyed hostess smiling a shy welcome as she greeted her guests. Nothing of the sort, for not a soul appeared but a sanguinary-looking boy asleep under the currant bushes. And I must stop there, but oh Lordy, she has a fit about him bringing this guy home. But she told him before, he didn't even ever need to ask. Just bring home whomever. So, I will see y'all tomorrow. We'll be live at 5 as usual. Coming from here, or probably kitchen table. Such a nice home. It's very nice. Not cluttered like mine, of course. I've made my little whip nest here. There's another one. Love y'all. Be sweet. Don't be ugly. See you later. Bye-bye.